So here's a common problem that you get in Excel, especially in a data table like this. What I want to do is I want to split this first column up into its constituent parts. So in other words, first name and surname in separate fields. How do I do that without having to do it manually? Well, first thing I need is two new columns. So I'm going to highlight B and C, right click over the column headers and choose Insert. That will give me two brand new columns. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write in there some nice labels so I know what it is I'm trying to do. Then what I need to do is I need to highlight this data that I've got in that first column. And then I need to choose the command on the Data tab, Text to Columns. And what that does is it gives me the Convert Text to Columns wizard coming up. And what I can choose how I want to split the data. Now it defaults to delimited, which is basically saying there is a character between those two words. Tell me what the character is, and that character could be a comma or a tab or a space or whatever. We can see it's a space. The other alternative is fixed width. So in other words, as long as my data is consistent, a fixed number of characters, it will split the data between them. So if you've always got, a code number and that's the first three characters, then it makes sense to use fixed width if it's exactly the same all the way down. But in this case, it's a delimited situation. So I'm going to click delimited and click next. And it's not a tab between those two words, Gerald and Green. It's a space. So I'm going to click on space. What that will do is the computer will then split it up, as you can see, in this sort of format. I'm going to click next. And what I can do is I can decide what kind of format I want the data to be in. In this case, I just want it to be general because it's just regular text. And then I can choose where I want that data to be placed. The start cell. So I'm going to click on this little icon and I click on cell B4. That's where I want the data to be placed from that cell downwards and across. So I'm going to click back on that little icon, and now that's the destination cell B4. When I now click finish, the computer will then do the business for me. You can see what I've got is I've got two nice new columns with the data separated, and as I scroll down, look, you can see how it's done that brilliantly. Now obviously if I don't want that full name column anymore, then I could get rid of it. So I'll just move my title into cell B1 and I'll right click on that column and just choose delete, and now I've got a spreadsheet where I've got the first name and the surname in separate fields, and that's the way I wanted it, because maybe I want to process or sort it in that sort of sense. So that's how you use text to columns.